Did I think it was an awesome film? Absolutely, but it also does have some flaws. So I definitely think Incredibles 2 does have better action sequences than the original film. But that's not really saying much. There's a lot of good points in this film where things get amazing, but there's also a lot of downloads to this film. There's a lot of good dragging parts of this movie, like parts of this movie that take too long to get to the point. But there are also some amazing things that happen in this movie. Like everything with Jack Jack, it's great. Everything with Elastigirl, in my opinion, I like that entire storyline, that entire subplot. Even though it leads to a villain who ends up becoming, in a way, a B-villain, but I'll get to that in a moment. There's a lot of subplots in this movie that don't really go anywhere, and I think that's where this movie falls short on a lot of things as compared to the first one. The first one got to the point, and it was still entertaining for kids because there was a lot of stuff going on screen. While in Incredibles 2, surprisingly, there is a lot of conversations. Conversations that last longer than I anticipated. There's even some kids in the theater that got bored when watching this, and I kind of felt bad for them, but whenever the action sequences came up, they were like, yeah! And trust me, everyone likes Jack Jack. And the entire raccoon scene versus Jack Jack, that is probably comedy gold all on its own. As compared to the first film, when it comes to the villains, I did like the villain in the first film a lot better. This one falls kind of short. The villain, I just can't explain it. Just wasn't as threatening and wasn't as intimidating. And on top of that, at the end, the villain kind of gets brushed aside very easily. The villain gets defeated very easily, and that's all I can really say about it. And I think the villain is probably the weakest point on this film. Besides the so many subplots that they have, besides all the long conversation and dialogue, as an adult, I still like the conversations they had in the film. I'm just saying, from a perspective of an adult, watching this movie, I don't think kids will really enjoy this movie as much as they would the first film. But this movie does hit a lot of good political points in like today's world. It basically is a reference to immigration, SJWs. It's a representation to our society right now. And I'm not really sure that we really need something like that, because when we go to the theater, I want to get away from my society and go into a different world and not be reminded that the world is actually kind of a shitty place. And this movie basically addresses that. This movie basically hints at media manipulation, and it hits on a lot of references points to feminism. And I'm just going to leave it right at that, because I don't want to talk too much about political stuff, but that's basically what's going on in this film. Now, I do like Elastigirl, and she is one of my favorite characters when it comes to the first film, because, I like my women strong. But the problem is, the main character, who is Mr. Incredible, in the first film, it was about him. In this film, it's weird, but it's about Elastigirl. And I'm not trying to say anything negative about that, but basically what they did is they repeated the events from the first film, but did it in the second film just with Elastigirl. So the first film, it was the guy, this film is the girl. So I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea. On top of that, I do like the fact that Mr. Incredible has more conversations with his children. I didn't really like the Violet subplot. Dash, he was okay. He wasn't my highlight of the film, but most of the highlight action sequences had to do with Elastigirl. And man, the animations in this film, it's amazing. Like, I was blown away. I didn't think Pixar would give that much effort into a film like this, and they went at it like 110%, I'm telling you. But does the animation really save this film for what it is? And my answer is yes. So, how would I rate this film? I would say I recommend you go see this movie in theaters. And you're probably going to watch this movie at least once in a while. This is probably not going to be your favorite movie you'll ever see. But if you do like the first Incredible movie and you're a fan of these characters, then you'll probably go see it again. I'm personally a fan of these characters, and I'm probably going to go see this movie again. And I'll probably watch this movie again next year like I always do when I like a film. So yes, I do like this film, but I acknowledge that it does have some issues. It's not going to be on my top 100 favorite films of all time, but I'm definitely going to enjoy it for what it is. I just hope when they make Incredibles 3, my only complaint is that they keep the characters together instead of separating them. You know, keep the mom, keep the dad, you know, Mrs. and Mr. Incredible, you know, keep the kids, you know, the baby. Keep them all together, because in the first film, it was Mr. Incredible going off on his own, and the kids and the family all join him later. But in this film, the characters all get separated very quickly. So hopefully in the next film, it will be an actual family film where the characters actually work together to face the common goal. Because I want to see more of Jack. I want to see more of Dash. I want to see a little more of Violet, but like not worrying about her boyfriend. Like, I want to see more comedy, because that's what this animation is addressing. Guys, this is Matthew Scooby. That's just my opinion. I gotta go. This is The Great Geek Detective. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.